Hey world, it's Bean Willie come back with another video. Family, I want to come back to this video because, the universal language is mathematics, right? Because numbers don't lie, you dig? And so when the focus is on something that's, not tangible, numbers don't even come into play. Okay? Like for instance, this protesting that's going on right now. But if you look at the numbers, then you have to ask yourself, are the protests tangible, and will these protests actually have changes that are going to benefit those that are actually out there protesting? I don't understand. Maybe it's lines that are blurred, but I thought these protests were because of police brutality, right? Against, so-called African Americans. But then while all the protests are going on, there are numbers out there that I think if more people were conscious of, your focus would shift, okay? Because I know we have, 3 so-called African Americans, shot, two shot, and one, of course, with the asphyxiation situation. But then it's like we're protesting, but then there's, 2 other, Afro-melanated brothers that died from hangings, and I think they was saying it's suicide cases. But look into it, family. That's something California, some counties in California. There were two brothers that were hung. One I think was 38 years old, and the other was like in his 20s. And I'm wondering why that's not if it's any type of homicide against Afro-melanated people that would draw the ire of, racism, it would be finding young black men hung from trees or hung from a rope. You would think that would have more of a, you're talking about Black Lives Matter, you're talking about quote unquote racism, you're talking about all this stuff, which is predicated on hate and predicated on division. Because remember, there's no such thing as race. We're all physiologically and biologically the same, other than some, superior genes, which we know what time it is on that. But, cognitively, mentally, socially, emotionally, we have every different characteristic in each one of these so-called races. So you can't say that one race is more superior than the other when it comes to cognition, when it comes to understanding, when it comes to love and emotions. Physically, okay, yes, with different physical characteristics, yes. But from this notion that there are races, it's ridiculous. And so you gotta realize this stuff started in the 1800s. And it's still predicated today. And what's so crazy about it is that now we're still associating ourselves with organizations. I mean, first, you had the civil rights movement, then you have, Nation of Islam. Okay, then you have, Black Lives Matter. You have, NAACP. If when you have so many organizations, this is 2020. We have so many different organizations created to, better the treatment and equality of another group of people. When it's that many, that tells you something's wrong with that. Numbers don't lie. When you look at the number of people that are missing, let's look at people missing, okay? Women that are missing, women that are abducted, children that are abducted. Out of the 613,000, it's like 280,000 Afro-melanated women and children missing, abducted. And we're only making up, quote unquote, 13% of the population. Afro-melanated women only make up like 7% of this population. But over 10% of the women that are missing and abducted are Afro-melanated women. See, we got to look at things in terms of numbers and understand that this stuff that's going on, unless there are policy changes, unless there's a shift in the system, it's going to remain the same. It's no accident. Why do you think the NAACP was created back in the day? And then we're talking the early 1900s. And we got cats back then like W.B. Du Bois and, George Washington Carver and Frederick Douglass and, all these cats, And you have to create an organization so there's fairness. And now in 2020, you have an organization called Black Lives Matter that's supposed to create fairness. Really? See, numbers don't lie. Right? So let's look at something that's more tangible. All right? And it just blows me away, right? That, politically speaking, they're taunt that, hey, man, we're happy that, we had 2.5 million jobs created in May. Okay? 2.5 million jobs. Now, riddle me this. How is that better than losing 40 million jobs just 3 months ago? So you only added 2.5 million jobs, and that's supposed to be a good team? When if you look at the numbers of those jobs, right? 2.5 million jobs created, but the unemployment rate for African Americans and Asians doubled. See, numbers don't lie. So you guys out there, okay, this Chad City thing in Seattle, are you serious? What's it about? So reinvent yourself, family. Create a better mindset. Because a lot of stuff that you see on the television, I promise you right now, and I have to give Trump credit on this situation right here. Like he said, if we didn't test as much, there wouldn't be as many cases. Duh. Okay? Because to this day, no one can tell me, well, when you get tested for coronavirus, what is the indicators? Like, what, your blood pressure go up? What happens? You have a spike in some type of what? Are there any type of signs and symptoms that can say, bam, COVID? No, because everyone is pretty much transitioned from COVID has underlying health conditions. Over the age of 65, this and the third, designating different groups. So that tells you, look at the numbers. And fam, I really appreciate you giving me your time. Very humbling experience. I did a video yesterday about sibling love, but I tell you right now, it's not only just sibling love, it's all love. And also make sure that, you associate yourself with people that are not toxic, because those that are toxic can fake goodness. And that's the worst thing you want, to be around toxic people that fake goodness. Okay? Look for authenticity. And in the meantime, between time, family, may the Most High Inside you bring you joy. And being what is out of 5,000.